What's going on? Social media. I hope when you woke up today, you're feeling good. I hope that this message finds you in a state of tranquility, peace, solitude. I hope that whatever life journey you're on, I hope that you see great success. And then with that, as usual, I just want to share some thoughts with you. Uh, it's been two issues that I like really ain't want to touch, right? Is one is the Jay-Z NFL cap situation, and the other one is this Popeye chicken sandwich, right? And I didn't want to touch these subject matters because I feel like it's the same run of the mill loop that we seem to be as a collective stuck in. And it's this loop that I've been fighting like hell. I managed to get out of it, but I still have people that I care about that's stuck in that loop or that cipher, that world, whatever you want to call it. And they constantly pull and try to pull me back into that world. And I try to fight like hell not to get in it. And when your conscious expand beyond that circle that they have you trapped in, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like all damn near all movies got the same storyline, the same backdrop story. All the video games, they're like basically all the same. And it's just like it's a spell. It's high tech game, and I feel like we've been in it long enough, and we've been kept there so that we couldn't evolve on certain conscious levels. It's like I just felt like I couldn't breathe. So with that saying, this Jay Z issue, right? I kind of like. I really don't want to touch an individual. I got my own personal views with that situation, right? But it's like it's mind blowing in the sense of the mentality because you got that situation, then you got this Popeye's chicken, right? And I'm analyzing the Jay Z situation, right? And basically, from what I'm seeing is one is managed to split the community into two, right? And then on another level, it's like it's bringing conversation back to the forefront, right? Of certain social issues and things of that nature, right? And then I'm looking at this Popeye chicken, right? And my whole thing has always been, right? I have had people that were in my ear throughout the years, right? And they always try to get me to go for a specific demographic of people to propagate to communicate with, right? And me, I always was like, man, I seen the value of the inner city. So it's like to some points I even tainted my speech. I even modified some of my message because I always had it geared towards those at the very bottom because to me I felt as though the hood is like extremely valuable. Like most people they want to run to like the suburbs and other places. Granted, there are levels of peace and tranquility and levels of cleanliness, right? That we could all benefit from, right? But I'm a firm believer if you could pull it off, which some say is an impossible task, but I think if you could pull it off and actually unify the hood, right? I believe that those same levels of cleanliness and those same levels of consciousness can be touched right there. You know what I mean? So I always felt that way, and a lot of people try to make me feel like I was crazy because I didn't go to the other way, right? Now I say that not knocking Jay. Everybody know he's a climber, right? And this is not a joint to judge him, right? But I'm saying to myself, like, just that whole mentality, that run-of-the-mill conversation, that barbershop conversation is starting to get stale. Like, we've been doing this, like, that type of conversation, that type of analyzation of people that we consider leaders and some that we don't consider leaders. We've been literally doing this since, like, the 20s and the 30s. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like it's becoming redundant, and monotonous. And I'm like, and it's stale, you know what I mean? And so I got the vibing off of that's how people die. They get stuck in a certain time frame and they can't get out of it. And then I'm looking at this Popeye's chicken, right? And I'm saying, like, we used to hear the sayings like they say God move in mysterious ways, right? So I'm looking at the Popeye chicken craze. Everybody for the sandwich, everybody for the sandwich. Now, underneath the old mind state, I'm gonna give you the good and bad of the old mind state. The old mind state will break down this Jay-Z situation and whether you a capitalist, whether you're a capitalist, whether you're a capitalist or you just a loyalist. Because at the end of the day, that's what it really did. It broke blacks down to two camps. Whether those with the capitalist state of mind. On one level, I think it's kind of foolish even to put Jay-Z on that chopping block, because he's been nothing but true since he came out that money, power, that's his game. And I think it's kind of crazy for us on certain levels for people to like kind of like judge the dude, because it's like you had tons and tons of white men, Rockefellers and things of that nature, who played the same game and played the same hand, and whites have never persecuted them for being like that. So it's kind of weird and it's kind of strange in itself. But don't get me wrong, at the same time, the African American male or the black male in America is our journey has to be a little bit different, because on certain levels the ancestors feel as though we didn't perform the ultimate sacrifice, and that's what's going to cause the ultimate freedom. And what I mean that is getting rid of the fear of death. And as you know, I like to talk a lot about Egypt, and about Egyptians and with the resurrection and how they tried to cheat death. So we have always viewed death as like an obstacle, a problem that has to be solved. But at the end of the day, we as a people, psychologically, even physically, we tried every being in our body, every fiber to like fight death. And when you look at it in the skills of being a warrior, that's what a warrior whole thing is. It fights, it combats death, whether death appears in the opposite army or whatever the case may be. So I think that's where the critical eye comes in at judging Jay-Z amongst the populace of blacks, is they feel as though when the occasion arrives, you have to show that bravo, that machoism in that aspect of like, man, fuck you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's kind of like crazy, because I know that what he's envisioning in his mind is he still has the ability, which is really, really rare and odd when you get to that level. He still has the ability to dream. See, that's what happens to those guys who be like, oh, you sold your soul and blasey, blasey, blasey. And what actually happens is the soul allows you to space the dream and imagination. That's one of the powers of the soul, right? So those guys, that's what happens when you get a guy and he's really hot and he's a rapper. His first 2-3 albums, like, damn, and then after a while you notice it gets kind of old and they just fade out, right? Because they lose the power to dream. Because that's what pulls us in. We get caught up in their dream. You know what I'm saying? Those first CDs, they first albums, we get caught up in, the dream, the vision. But after a while, it dies out. And what Jay is showing is he has vision. So, like, at this point, I think, me personally, another reason why it's foolish, like, you can't shame the dude, because at the end of the day, he's already gone. He's already in the future. And if you study his music, he talk about that young Hove, and he talks about Infinity, and he's already gone. Like his children inside the building now. Like he's gone. So every move that he make, he's really making it for them. Like he's becoming a Christ for his children. His 3 children. So it's like at the end of the day, he's like, man, you can stone me all you want. At the end of the day, I'm going to be dead, but I'm going to live on through them. And they going to have that bread, and they going to have the power. Like, that's his whole game if nobody figured it out. He's already like, fuck the world. He's about his children. So but I'm kind of like upset because I think us as blacks, we should evolve to the point now that we can see that. And it really shouldn't be an issue. Whereas though we now, on a positive note, this Popeye chicken thing, because the truth is never formatted. It's never how you think it is. The truth always creeps up on you, and you be like, oh snap, I ain't see that. The truth is probably one of the greatest assassins ever. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, the old heads used to say the truth takes and knocks the brains out of falsehood, right? So look at the Popeye chicken thing. I'm like, this Popeye chicken thing, people is like, once again, split in two. You got the people that just don't care, and they just like, man, this is a good chicken, and they that. And then you got the other camp that's like, man, you niggas, you watermelon seed spitting, handkerchief head wearing, cotton picking, carriage coach driving, house nigga. Like, they just on that type of vibe with it, right? But I'm sitting back, and I'm tripping off of like, yo, I think this Popeye chicken thing is the manifestation that black people are still powerful as shit. And I think as we're not looking at it from a socialist perspective, like I'm saying within like a matter of a week, black people single-handedly, black people, not just any black people, not the intellectual black people, not the college black people, not the system would they look at them as the perfect black role models. I'm talking about the hood, the people at the bottom. Look how powerful they are. They have managed to take a company that deals with millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they have managed to do with that company, with his marketing campaign and all of that, they have managed, the black people from the hood has managed to pull off probably one of the greatest inclines in the restaurant chain business, probably in the history. But we're not seeing that. But I bet for sure, if it will blow your mind if you was on a corporate level and working at Popeyes on a corporate level, and that paperwork slid on your desk, and you seen the spikes of those sales. Those spikes of those sales, you'll probably have a heart attack. And nobody did that. Not a powerful megastar like Jay-Z. The collective poor, the ones in the hood, the internet, the regular people, the regular black urban people has done that. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, like, that's fucking power. Like, I'm like, yo, like, it's blowing my mind how powerful the hood is, and they probably don't even know it. They probably don't even know it. Meaning, Popeyes, come on, man. We're going to keep it real, right? Popeyes is a restaurant that only hood people go to. Chick-fil-A is considered fast food wise. The chicken game is like, I'm talking about symbolically what it represents, the upper echelon. You know what I'm saying? And it shows you how powerful the people are. God, man, moves in mysterious ways. I immediately thought about a story out the Bible, David and Goliath. Chick-fil-A was Goliath. And here comes little ass Popeye with that biscuit, slinging in that slingshot, man, and toppled a giant, man. And nobody's peeping. Nobody has done that but the urban people, the hood people, the poor done that. So, if nothing more, it shows you. I mean, that's a case study. Because now we should redefine and put our eyes back. I'm telling you, the hood is a gold mine, man. Everybody's trying to run out the hood and leave. It's a gold mine. It's a power source, man. And if you can hone in on that, my God, man. So, I just want to, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm out the box. Maybe I'm off the Richter scale. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb and maybe I'm just seeing shit. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, man. But I just be seeing shit different. I be seeing things different, man. Like I just genuinely, like I said before, man. I be seeing the value in people that people don't see. You know what I mean? And it's just like it just blows my mind, man, that people don't see how valuable they are. Like I can remember watching a movie some years back, right? And it was based on a slavery type movie, right? I forget the name of it. But this little black girl, she learned how to read and everything, and they found out, boom, 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 boom. I forget what happened, but it came to a point where so the black girl told all the blacks, she said, yeah, master, she said, he ain't got no money. She said, but he got money. She said, and she pointed to all the blacks, she said, his money is you. You his money. And I said this numerous times, man, black people are money. We money. Like, it's crazy. It's just that we haven't learned how to, as a collective, we haven't learned how to master and use and manipulate ourselves. That's deep. We haven't learned, so in turn, it leaves the door open for other people to become our slave master. Once we should be our own slave master. And that ties right back into ancient psychology. When they say, come sit at the foot of the master. And things of that nature. And how we used to perceive ourselves in all ancient cultures as being masters. So, it's just, I don't know, it's just mind-blowing. But a lot of people might think that the Cap and the Jay-Z story is really deep. But I'm like, man, that's an old story, man. Like, we're used to that. Like that. We're used to as blacks as vibing and analyzing. I'm quite sure we could get super deep with that. But what I'm saying is that shit is burnt out now. That I'm talking about the mentality. Like that, we tired of that. We tired of that. It's the differences between macrophysics and microphysics, right? And macrophysics, of course, is that whole Jay-Z NFL situation, right? Microphysics is that little Popeye sandwich. You know what I'm saying? But if you understand the difference between the two, if you understand the difference between the two, it's like take the two George Washingtons, right? Take the first president, George Washington, and he was on one end of the spectrum, macrophysics, right? His face is on a $1 bill and things of that nature, right? And then take the other George Washington Carver, who dealt with that little ass peanut and who was a scientist and invented all of these different things from one peanut, a little ass peanut. That's microphysics. I think that we need to, at this point in time, get into the microphysics. And all I'm saying that is like, start studying the small details of yourself. It'll blow your mind, because that's where God is hitting at. God is hitting in the small details. God isn't hitting in the grown man. God is hitting in the little kid. Jesus said in order to enter heaven, you have to be like a child. But he was talking about having the ability or having the strength to go from macrophysics to microphysics. Having that analytical mind. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were to take a human body and freeze it and saw it in half and study all the complicated systems that the body is composed of, the respiratory system, the circular system, and study the nerve endings and, the neurons in the brain, and study them and go inside of them. That is so small. Like it took an analytical mind to be able to put that together. Sort of like that biochip that they used to always talk about that they was going to start injecting into us. But I'm talking about, let's start analyzing the mind that it takes to make a biochip. What type of intelligence? Like, that's crazy intelligence. Only a baby or kid type mentality is surprised by big things. Ooh, that's big, mommy. That's big, daddy. Intelligent people into the books, the small, the detail, the analytical mind. That's a blessing of an adult. And we need to stop being the children of Israel when it comes to dealing with this thing. We need to stop running. We need to understand shit. And we need to stop approaching life with a childish type of mind. That's the mentality. We've been childish for too long. We need to grow the fuck up. And this is not no bashing black people, because trust me, when you take a look at yourself, my God, my God, it'll blow your mind. I be watching people's stuff. I be watching people videos. I be watching people posts that they put up, and I'm just like, I be just like I just be in awe. Not so much of the word, because anybody could take. I do it myself. I take posts from other people's pages and just post it. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when you sit back and look at the symphony, the system, the movement. You could still tell a lot about a person. People be like, if you try to go on my page and read me and read me off of my page and blasey, you ain't gonna be able to read me. But you can. You can read a person just off a post. You can. And it's different levels. I'm not gonna go into the layers of it. It's different levels. That's why I remember years ago, man, that I had read whereas though the Muslims, they were really, really big and obsessed with playing the game chess, right? And they stopped. They stopped playing chess. You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of years, I was like, why? And then, I had the pleasure of being in an environment where they played a lot of chess, right? And I always, real young, my mother had a boyfriend when I was like around 7 or 8. He showed me how the chess pieces move. He showed me how to play chess, right? So I've been knowing how to play chess ever since I was a small child, right? Never really got too engrossed and deep, but I do all right, And I can remember being in this place and sitting and watching these guys play chess, right? And it's funny because these same individuals, you will see them and they would have this facade. They'd be walking down a hall, face balled up, body ripped like military, like, man, I kill bricks for breakfast type of mentality, right? And then to sit down and see them individuals play chess and see just off of how they strategy, you could see the flaws in their psyche. I was like, wow, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? You could see what type of guy is towards females, how he moves his queen. You know what I mean? Like, I suppose I have a vulnerable moment with you right now. When I was younger, I would from the rip get rid of my queen. From the rip. I'll pull my queen out there and I'll jump on you with my queen. I'm trying to lose her though. I'm trying to get rid of her. And I would notice my opponents would run. because they ain't want to give up their queen. And I would be in that joint. By the time I had to eat up half of your army. You know what I mean? But when my queen, I'm happy when my queen gets taken from the rip, because that's my motivation to crush that army. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm coming back for you. You know, it's all about psychology. Everybody got their own different psychology with the chess thing. But me personally, I taught my children at a young age how to play chess. Me personally, I don't play chess. Like, I don't do the games. You know what I mean? But you can study a lot about a person by watching them just play a simple chess game. You know? And ironic, chess has black and white squares. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, man. But remember, man. Remember, man. Shit is deep, man, and we want the backdrop stories, man. And stop being kind, man, with the run of the mill shit. And take that approach in everything in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let people just keep hitting you with the same game over and over and over and over again, because at the end of the day, it's an insult to your intelligence. Like, you're gonna just keep hitting me with this same game over and over and over again? Like, who the fuck am I, Boo Boo the Clown or some motherfucking body? Like, come on, cut it out. And black people should really be offended by this whole Jay-Z NFL dream, because it's all a machine, and it's just a game. It's a mind fuck. It's a census to see where the black populace, what their mind states is at. Come on, man. It's social scientist shit, man. But like, wake up, man, and start learning that you can't get rid of that system. All governments do it. We're not trying to get rid of it, but smarten up and know that you got the power. You can manipulate that same system. When they trying to analyze you, let's see what these dumb monkeys is up to. You can sit there and peep. Okay, they testing this. Look, as a collective, we gonna do this, like the Popeye chicken thing. And so they'll be like, oh, they on that type of time, and really we over here in this type of time. Like, smarten the fuck up, man. I mean, you come from great people, man. You come from people that call themselves gods and goddess, man. Smarten up. Real rat. And with that, man, I love y'all. It was some tough love today, but, man, rest assured I love you, man. And you have a good day, man, and just stay strong, man. And with that, man, I'm going to salute out.